Okay, so let me start this video by apologising for the grinding noises you're going to hear throughout. Some of the people here was on pace, so basically they had to carry on working.
Been cut out of this now.
So I did the best I could.
But it's the welders welding and grinding and stuff. I've actually got the first plate back in here now. It's all welded in. They're going to put that section right across. I hope you can hear me. And the back end has now got a full new back end in. So they cut the last part out. And they've now put a brand new back end in. It's all going up. Now what they're going to do is come up the side and we'll go up the wall and it'll get all that welded up as well. So you can see there.
And what I'm trying to say is you can see there that clearly they've replaced the back bit. They've used 50mm box section on the sides and then they're going to build up the back, and this is what I'm saying here, they're just going to rebuild the back.
And I'll come back to this. When we get this in, going to put box section across here and they're going to rebuild all this back with lines coming straight across, and then they'll sheet the back of it up. Now I'll get back to you in a minute so that you can go back to work.
So what we're doing now is just lifting one of the sheets of 1.5mm up so that the welder can cut it and shape it into place. He'll then tack it, and then that'll be it from there. We'll just build the rest of the back up all tacked up.
Yeah, but don't worry about that, because that's where the film's going to go, you know what I mean? Yeah. The shaping.
In the meantime, I just got out of the way and stood back and waited while John sat on fire. The welder went round the bus just tack welding everything on first, so all the plating was just tack welded. It then had more plate and box section, and it would form all the back of the bus to its original shape. And in the meantime, me and John decided to rip the floor up.
Outside, yeah. Where do you want this shit?
Just shove it in front of the house.
So this part was all rotted. This goes under the bonnet, and it's where the windscreen wipers screw to, which the back it was all rotten. So they've just got a new part now. We've just had it delivered by Mercedes. And this one, yeah, twice. This is
the third time. Price wise.
Section across here is what they've put on now, and this will give us the shape back in the bumper.
What I'm showing you here is the shape of the van, which is coming back now and how it's done it. It's basically put a thin strip of metal across rather than bending it into place, which would have been really awkward for us at the time. So it had to be built up, there was no other way for it. Round here, what I'm saying there is they're going to do exactly the same, which is go to the shape of the van, and we'll weld all the separate plates in to make up the actual shape. In the meantime, while the welder's repairing all the back, John decides to chop some more out the side. The welder's working nice and quietly round the back. No noise whatsoever apart from a little buzz. And John's ripping the side of the van off with a grinder. Now it was a little bit awkward getting the old sills off. You can see there just in the corner there's a really, it must have been like Sikaplex or something which was stuck on it. It made it really tough to get it off. Having ripped all the side off, John was just cleaning out the mess from the inside of the little hole that he'd found at the front, which we will have to repair. There is some work to the back of this sills, but it's coming along. As you can see now, the back end's taking shape. He's got all this back in, all shaped it. It's all just tack welded at the minute, but he's going to start welding soon. That's the bottom, and you can see on the bottom he's put that rail back. That's exactly what they wanted, so it matches all the boat itself. And they're going to weld it up pretty soon. Having now cut all the sides off and seeing as now he had really nothing left to do, John decided to start cutting all the front out. The welder was just fixing some more 40mm ply, 40mm box section to the back.
You can't really get in at back. No, no. Is that going to be awkward for you to tack weld out there, you think? Yeah. Yeah. I like it out, don't I? Well, I mean, I think it, well.
And John had now nicely chopped out all the front.
I think it just like that.
So what we're doing now is we're just going around the van and we're prefixing all the sills just to make sure they all fit and they're all in the right place, ready for when the back's been repaired. We'll repair some damage to the back, what I'm pointing out here, and there's some other damage to the side as well which will need repairing. And after that we'll then put the sills back on.
It's just double skin in it. Yeah. You don't think it sits in between these two things?
The sills are now fabricated but not welded up properly. They've just got the shape of them, and they'll fabricate them up later and then they'll weld them in place. I think I go through this a couple of times in the video, so please bear with me. Do you remember the Saga in Series 1 about the tape measure I put, and then John wrote something on the wall saying only whatever steel tapes? He's still crying about it. I don't know if you can hear me, but basically they're all the sills ready to go on. We just popped them in place. Popped them in place while we measure everything up, and then they'll go on once we get the. They'll go on once we get round to this side. Now taking the length off the door and the specs are all out and ready to be cut. So with the front all cut out, I decided to go and check the back out where the welder had overbuilt the weld so that he could probably get the shape back and help him get it back. And then what we'll do is we'll finish it off with a filler just to make sure we get it exactly right. I think it'll look pretty good when it's done, and it's really starting to take shape now. So this is where we are at the end of the day too. We've just put a light coat of primer on it. It's not finished yet by any means. There's still quite a lot of welding to be done with this, but just to protect it from the weather, we've put a nice coat of primer on it. You can see there it goes right down to the bottom. And that's the shape. If I come back, you'll be able to see the actual shape. And that's the back end where it's got all the grooves right in the right place and everything back in. And that's exactly as John wants it and Kerry wants it. The side plates now are on. We've got them all in. They're obviously now waiting to be welded. There'll be inner sills going on first. And this is where we've cut the front out, and we're waiting for the new steps to come. They've ordered some from Mercedes and they'll fit straight into there. and we'll put a new front end in, and that's because the stairs what was on came a lot lower to match the skirts. But now we've taken the skirts off, you can see where the door finishes there, because we've taken the plastic cover off what was on there, and that'll now come in at the same length as the skirt, as the sills, so it'll all match up once it's finished. But the stairs, they came down to about here, so we've had to cut that off, and that's why we've taken all these out. I'll take you inside. You can now see that the wheel arches have both been replaced, and as I said, there's still a bit of work to do on these, but they're tacked in for now. And the same on the other side, they've got the new 2 wheel arches in. So this is the update then. We've gone along the sides. We haven't actually put these and the wheel arches on yet. The sills and the wheel arches are not on yet, but that'll be coming shortly. The door is now being cut back. I think I've showed you this before. And there's the biggest change. The change is now inside. So we ordered should I say they ordered another step from Poland, which has now gone in, where you saw all this cut off. And I didn't actually get to film this, but it's all been welded all along the seams, all done. It's all been strengthened under here. It's had this lot done here, which has now replaced all the front, and that from the wheel arch. All this has been rebuilt back up, and a new part put in there itself, so all that's new as well. And you can see there, look, it's all back in line and all back as it should be. It's a really good job there. And the step up, it isn't that much, but John's and Kerry are going to put another step underneath here so that it slides out when I need it, just to bring it that bit lower again. But the thing with reducing that door, that step, you get to be able to shut the door properly and it runs in line. And that's something I'm going to look at doing on mine. So in the back you can see the wheel arches now. They've all been made ready to go on. Now they aren't tacked on at the minute, but they will be getting done once they've got all the painting done on the actual chassis with the rough proof stuff. There is a little bit of welding on the back there to be done. This strengthening across here will be bars coming across, a bar coming across there, and you are putting a water tank in, aren't you, there?
Yeah, there's gonna be further bars going across. Right, would you like me to explain?
Yeah, explain it to me.
The plan of action for anybody who's watching is that I'm going to have steel fabricated steelwork going down here and box sectioning across here, and the same at the other side, and then basically there will be strengtheners going across to form the floor, and then the tank will be coming on up from underneath, and it will have bars going across, and it will be braced underneath. So should there be a problem with the water tank, all I have to do is undo the nuts, drop the tank, get access to it, rather than my initial thoughts were to put a false floor in and get access via in here, but I've changed my mind. I think it'd be better idea to do it from underneath.
Yeah, I do as well.
So that's the plan. That's the plan. But we're cracking on with it. There's still a bit of cleaning to do, a bit of rust busting to do. But the worst of it's out the way. This is the worst of it, but there's more plating to be done. Sill work to do outside. Sill work to do at this side. This side's okay on the sills, so I'm quite happy with that. That's good news. But it's absolutely solid now. Absolutely solid. And like Graham's already said, we've got the wheel arches, inner wheel arches fabricated, but I aren't having them pinned yet because I still want there's still a bit of plating to do around the sill work before I get them permanently fixed in.
Just remind me of what everybody, because you didn't notice this straight away, did you? The thing what was happening here with this where the bodywork was lower. Just go through it.
What happened here is initially, because it was a bus, they cut out this part of the floor and they prefabricated big steel girders going from this side to this side and formed the back seating area. But what they did in the process of doing that is they failed. So basically, when they welded a plate up in here, they welded it, but the van had slightly dropped by about that much. By, I would say, about what, an inch. It dropped by an inch, and they welded it, and it was dropped at an angle. So I basically had to lift it back up, put it in the position that it was supposed to be in, and had it re-welded with obviously with 50mm bar has gone right across here. There'll be more 50mm bar going across here, and new sheet metal work on the inner part of this framework.
And that's 50mm box section
That's
steel.
50mm box section and 40mm box section.
Which you're using for the strength at the back.
For the strength at the back. There's still a bit
Yeah.
more to do on this. There's a few more little areas that I'm doing on here, but the shape of the boat area now is there. Obviously, there's going to be some filling to do and obviously shaping to do to get it absolutely cock on. Sorry, bang on. I'm not supposed to say these wrong words because it's going on YouTube. Anyway, but yeah, it's absolutely mega pleased with how we've got on so far. We've been at it now for 12 days. That's stripping it out and fabrication and welding. We're 12 days into it now. So I'm pleased, but we're going to have to down tools now because we're right on top of Christmas. And carry on in January and see how far we're getting on in January. All being well. I'd like to think that come the end of January, beginning of February time, I'll be looking at possibly putting some flooring down. Although I am going to put the tank down and the LPG tank, I'm going to get them in situ first, so that I don't have to work underneath. I'm going to do it while the floor's up.
Yeah.
So the LPG tank's going, water tank's going in, and anything else that I can think of that's going to need to be done while the floor's up is going to get done before the floor goes down. And then basically once the floor goes down, it'll be we've decided whether we're going to get the paintwork done outside first before the internal fits, but we are getting a roof rack fabricated. I'm deciding whether, to be honest with you, I don't know at this point in time as to whether that's going to happen in February or January. I don't know yet, but we'll see when we get around to it. So,
And we will be having 2 roof backs made.
oh yeah, Graham's having one made as well.
Yeah, I'm having one done for my van and one done for this van, which I'll be changing solar panels around and having them on a tilt system so that I can get it in the winter. It's not so important that for John because they're only holidaying in theirs and using it for touring and stuff.
Yeah, this ain't going to be an off-grid type vehicle. Although
It will be to a certain
it will
extent.
be to a certain extent, but it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be something that we're permanently planning on living in.
No.
But I'm looking forward to getting it done. I'm looking forward to, following Graham down the motorway and finding these secluded places.
Yeah, well looking forward
off-grid
to it.
and seeing how it goes. So yeah,
That's the total update for this week then. We've done that, and thank you for joining us. We will put more videos out, so don't worry about that. We'll be putting a lot more videos out in the future. We'll get back to a weekly thing once Christmas is out the way, and I can bring you, even if it's only a little bit, I'll bring it up to you. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. You can follow John and Kerry on Mercedes 814 Camper Build. I will put a link in the description below, and it will also be on the screen, and you should see it. So thanks for watching. Until after Christmas, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. It's the back we've got on at the minute. Some of it's all been welded up. It still needs filling, but you can see there, look, we've got all the shape back, or they've got all the shape back, and a bit of filler and we'll get that right. I'm not going to uncover it completely because it's a nightmare, but the welding's down there, look. All shapes at the bottom where the grooves are, and the same there. It's all back in now. So once I get the filler on that, get it painted, get it filled, that'll look as good as new, and it has, like I said, got the original shape. It's great, great work.